The elephant in the room. MK 2021. Man, I've been bombarded, and I mean bombarded with opinions left, right, and center about this movie, ranging from it's really good to it's 0 out of 10, trash movie, worst in the MK franchise, blah blah blah. Where do I stand? I'll get to that very soon, but some backstory. I actually watched this movie a few days ago as of this recording, and I watched it with my friend actually at home. So he's a complete non-fan. My friend, he's a non-fan, has no idea about MK whatsoever, apart from obviously the two main names, Scorpion, Sub-Zero. In fact, my other friend thought that they were brothers. So yeah, this goes to show how knowledgeable they are with MK. They have no idea. But yeah, I brought him along to watch it with me, and I feel like bringing him in was a good idea on my part, and I'll get to that very soon. But anyways, my thoughts on this movie. I guess to shorten my opinion in like a short sentence, I guess, I thought it was a good watch, but was flawed on many aspects, and especially some important aspects. First of all, I want to give credit where credit is due with this movie. Again, I thought it was a really good watch. People who say 0 out of 10, 1 out of 10, all that stuff, I feel like were too critical. I definitely enjoyed the 2 hours that this movie was running for. I thought that production was good, fight choreography was good, acting was good, gore was good, all that stuff, stuff that makes a movie, I thought was good. Graphic design, or graphic effects, all that stuff, yep, all really good. Music, oh man, that was good too. But yeah, all that stuff I feel like was really good. What I also liked about the movie was the characters, their likeness and their personality. I thought were really good. Costumes were a major big plus. I feel like that's a point that everyone agrees on. Really good costumes there. Definitely Kano was a highlight. Kano as a character, definitely great character. My friend agrees actually. He was laughing throughout his lines. Great character, great lines. I feel like he definitely made the movie just a lot more better. There were extra plot points within the movie that I thought were both good and bad. I guess most notably Arcanas. If you don't know what they are, actually you know what, you should know. You're watching this review. Arcanas were definitely a risky move. Any decision that I feel like the directors make that I guess push or I guess stray away from the original storyline, the original plot line, will definitely alienate fans, and that will obviously cause some uproar. But I feel like Arcanas were a great way to bring it to the mainstream viewership, because I feel like obviously when it comes to movies, right, they have to explain how these characters are stronger than normal humans, blah blah, all that stuff. And if they try to explain it using the MK lore, which is that they were already chosen champions, Raiden chose them, blah blah blah, all that stuff, I feel like that would have flew through people's head. So I feel like Arcana was a good addition. That's an example of like extra plot points that I thought were nice. But like I said before, there were also extra plot points that I thought were pretty trash. So yeah, a lot of good aspects, definitely. Again, people were saying 0 out of 10 were too critical. I feel like I did come to this movie with a mindset of like being neutral, because I definitely want this movie to be successful. But after reading what people's thoughts on it, people saying it's very good and people saying it's very bad, I definitely wanted to go into it neutrally. And yeah, I enjoyed it, definitely. No regrets, for the whole 2 hours, definitely. Some little funny story. I actually watched The Conjuring, both The Conjuring and Fast 9 before this, and I regret The Conjuring, definitely. Fast 9, stupid movie, but very fun. So yeah, MK was definitely, a good watch. I actually enjoyed that. But I mentioned flaws. Now these flaws, I feel like, are the main reasons why people are so critical of this movie. And I definitely agree on some aspects. I guess to start things off, the biggest flaws this movie has is that there is a lack of explanation or lack of backstory, plot, and all that stuff. The biggest issue I have with this movie is that I had to actually pause, right, this movie with my friend. I paused it, and he had to ask a few questions, and I had to answer them, obviously. And in a movie, that's bad. Imagine if he watched it in a cinema like that. He would have, my friend would have been fucked. He would have been clueless. He actually, so me pausing the movie and explaining key aspects of the story helped them enjoy it way more often, you know, or enjoy it just in general. So I'm really scared of like what the mainstream or the regular viewer came out thinking, you know. So lack of key explanations for key plot points. For example, why do Sub-Zero and Scorpion beef other than their clan? I mean, actually, it's touched on that they're clans because they say for the Lin Kuei, for the Shiryu, but it's not really explained thoroughly as to why they're beefing. Like, we start the movie off with that whole rivalry, but there's no, I guess, I don't know, explanation. Anyways, it's kind of a weird thing to explain, but yeah, that was again, just lack of storyline, that's not backstory, sorry, was definitely a big flaw. Another key point that wasn't really explained well was why Scorpion, or how Scorpion got revived in the first place. We were given like visions from Cole Young, the main character of this game, or this movie, visions of Scorpion being revived, but that doesn't explain how he came back. My friend did ask, like, okay, if Scorpion can come back, then can the people who died as well in the movie, can they come back too? I had to explain, you know, that in the game at least, Quan Chi revived Scorpion, and that death is permanent for some people, but not. Death is a pretty weird thing in the MK, isn't it? Like, I didn't want to say anything that was set in stone because I've definitely this movie does stray away from a few plot points from the main games, so I didn't want to just say things from the game and assume they were going to be same in the movie. But yeah, deaths I want to get into later on, by the way. So yeah, how Scorpion got revived, all that stuff, you know, character backstories and stuff, etc, etc. Definitely a big flaw in that. I definitely feel like the characters from both the good side and bad side, so protagonists and antagonists, definitely need some more time for character building moments, and that does link into my other big issue, was that the antagonists definitely were treated really badly here. Apart from Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero was like, he was treated like a god. he was a fucking god. He was a really good character. But everyone else around him, that's Nitara, Melina, Rico, Goro, were all treated like jobbers. And with, I don't know, with the lack of any character build-up with those characters meant that their deaths, obviously they died, their deaths and their fights meant nothing, and they're predictable. The thing is with like fighting game movies, alright, fighting games, I guess one of their main selling points is their large roster, their large character lists. Each character, you know, having different personality, different style, all that stuff, and all of them having different fans. And I think this movie definitely strayed away, or at least forgot about that. Even the antagonists have fans too, you know. Rico and Nitara were done dirty. I was actually told about this beforehand, but what I actually think is that they were done dirty, Rico and Nitara, but Prince Goro was done even worse. Nitara and Rico had no lines whatsoever, right? They had no lines, no nothing, so they were jobbers from the get-go. They were complete jobbers. But then Prince Goro, right, had a whole entrance to him. He had, you know, when he was entering his Shang Tsung's throne, the doors open, grand doors open slowly. His shadow is casting through the door, right? Massive ass shadow. Shang Tsung was like, Prince Goro is here! Everyone, ha, bah, 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 bah. come forth, Goro, champion of Mortal Kombat. And we were like, oh shit, Goro's here, holy fuck. And then he actually fights Cole Young and he dies in like 5 minutes. Yeah, see, that's bad. But yeah, that's definitely one of the biggest flaw. Lack of character build-ups, explanation of key story points. Antagonists feel like they're nothing, even though we've been fans of these characters, you know, Rico, Nitara for years, Nitara for like 10 years, you know, I guess Nitara and Rico for 10 plus years. Yeah, that was so dirty what they did to Rico. And Rico's design was ass too, so yeah, I guess why people also think that he was done the worst. His design was ass. Nitara had a cool design, but she died very early. Yeah. Yeah, that definitely was a big sore point. Anyways, next point. After the movie finished, I asked myself one question. It's a question that's still lingering on in my mind right now, and the question is this catered to new fans or old fans, or I guess new viewers or fans? And I didn't know. Obviously, it can be in the middle, but there are some decisions made or choices made in this movie that are detriment to both sides. For example, some story plots were different, obviously. For example, you know, Jax losing his arms, Sub-Zero did that this time. All that stuff was different. And that alienates fans, you know. Fans will definitely hate those changes, no matter what they are, because they're obviously changes from the original story. So yeah, that alienates fans. But then the story plots that were there, in the movie, it was rushed again, going back to the whole no explanation, backstory and stuff, and that alienates new viewers. Definitely, like I said, my friend had to ask questions, and that, you know, if I wasn't there, he definitely would have been lost, alienated, etc., etc. Another flaw is that I thought the arcana powers of the protagonists were too strong, and I feel like there's going to be an issue later on in the movie, in sequels. If you guys remember, Cole Young dispatched of Goro in like a few seconds after gaining his arcana power, and Sonya dispatched of someone, I forgot who it was, but she killed someone with one shot of her purple projectile or pink projectile. And that's gonna be an issue, I feel like, because if they use their powers against someone else in the next game or next movie, and it doesn't dispatch them in one hit, that's gonna be lack of any continuity there. So yeah, that's not good. I actually have a solution to all this, but I want to get to that very soon actually. But yeah, those arcanas, they were cool. Again, you know, the special moves were pretty much one-to-one to the counterpart to the games, and I thought that was pretty cool. Cole Young's arcana power I'll get to later on. But yeah, fixes. So again, my main flaw is that again, lack of explanation and stuff. So I feel like this movie would have benefited more if it had a TV series behind it, definitely. Or at least was a TV series in general. They obviously plan to have a sequel, right? They want to have like a MK Cinematic Universe, MKCU. They want that, definitely. That's their plan. So why did they start off with a TV series beforehand? Definitely that would have helped so much. Imagine TV series, right, of MK, where they go through each of the characters' backstory, in each episode. So like MK9 Star, for example, you know, each chapter is one character. In this case, each episode is one character. And imagine, you know, an episode with Cabal. Cabal's in the movie, right? And he had some backstory. He had a conversation with Kano. Apparently they have some beef before the movie started. And imagine if we got an episode of like Cabal's past life, you know, when Cabal and Kano beefed and how he joined Outworld, sorry. All that stuff, basically, you know. Maybe a backstory with Rico becoming a general of, you know, Shao Kahn's army, leading an army to, I don't know, do shit. But yeah, just stuff like that, you know, or maybe like another one where Goro is shown to win previous MK tournaments. You know, that stuff would have helped so much. Not only would have helped to build up the MK universe, the MK cinematic universe, but it would have also built up these characters, these antagonists, so they meant something to us instead of being jobbers. Also, one other fix I feel like would have been nice was if Rico, Nitara, Goro, Melina, all those characters, right, didn't fight. Apart from Sub-Zero, obviously, Sub-Zero needed to fight. He's part of the main like plotline. But yeah, if those characters didn't fight, and instead were replaced by generic fighters, such as the reptile monster that we saw in the first half of the movie in Sonya's basement, that scene was actually really, really good. You know, an Outworld-like monster coming to Earthrealm, and these fighters, right? This champion MMA fighter, this military girl, can't kill this reptile monster that easily. And I feel like that scene was really, really important. Because it's, you know, I like seeing protagonists struggle, pretty much. Struggling protagonist is a developing protagonist, if that makes sense. But yeah, I feel like these antagonists should be replaced by generic fighters. Let's say, for example, Tarkatans, you know? Imagine if we got like a Baraka scene, for example, him leading his Tarkatan, or a few Tarkatan guys to Earthrealm. Sorens, you know? Sorens could be useful as well too, but I think the coolest one they should have actually done is introduce lower class Shokans, you know, instead of Rico, Nitara, all those characters. Those combatants should have been left in the next movie. They shouldn't have fought this movie. I feel like they would have been better off if they were just if they had moments to build up their character. Again, just another. I keep on coming back to the same thing, but yeah, character build-ups was definitely lacking, and I feel like if they were in the back seat and we got generic fighters instead of those characters fighting, you know, to take the kill, to take the death, would have been better. And it would have made sense as well, actually, because there was no tournament here. There was no tournament, and Shang Tsung, you know, Shang Tsung bring his combatants down to fight the Earthrealm champions too quickly was a bad decision. So again, he said, Shang Tsung was smart, right? Surely he would have, you know, let's say, to test the waters out by bringing down a few Tarkatans to the Earthrealm, you know, instead of his combatants. Anyways, yeah, that was pretty stupid. But yeah, fixes again. TV series would have helped here. Antagonists should have been replaced by generic fighters such as Tarkatans, Sorens, and low-class Shokans. By the way, people confused the Reptile character with Reptile himself. It was actually just some generic monster that isn't Reptile at all. People were like, "Oh, Reptile is done dirty." Bitch, that wasn't Reptile, that's someone else. Yeah. Anyways, Cole Young. I mean, I said before, right? If you change any story points, if you add anything to the story, remove anything from the story, that will alienate fans. And Cole Young definitely did sour people's tastes. Again, because he's new. People would have preferred Liu Kang or Sonya. My thoughts, I would have preferred. They didn't need Cole Young, definitely. I feel like they tried to add Cole Young in to have, like, you know, a character that we can I don't know how to say it. Relate to. Yeah, definitely. I feel like that's why he's in the movie, but I also feel like he didn't need to be there. Okay, but he's here. So what are my thoughts on him? He's a good character in my opinion. He had enough time to develop. You know, we saw his family time. We saw his job, what he did. We saw him fight and lose in MMA and stuff. We saw him train. So I feel like he did have some good development. He definitely isn't a Cassie Cage where she came from nothing to killing a god. Okay, so that's bad. And Cole Young was pretty good. He had a, you know, again, good backstory, good motive, but I do feel like he lacked moments that they made us care for him, definitely. You know, seeing him struggle against Goro, right? I felt nothing for Ko Young and his family, and that's, again, as a protagonist, that's kind of bad. I'm hoping they kind of do more with him in the sequel. But yeah, he definitely needed more moments. His family, again, it's always cool to see a family guy, a family, you know, a family man and stuff. But his wife and daughter they literally were demoted to damsel in distresses. That's all they were, you know. Again, more moments were needed to build them up, you know, to make them to make us care for them. That was lacking, that part. His Arcana power, I felt like, was boring. I mean, the armor design is pretty cool. Again, costumes in general are pretty cool. But his power was fucking boring. What they have, like, police batons that were spikes? Police batons? I mean, I guess Striker isn't coming anytime soon, right? He took his move list away from him. Yeah, he definitely had a boring Arcana power. That could have been better. I personally would have given him, I guess, his armor and his batons plus some elemental power, you know, maybe fire, you know, something like, I don't know, something to spice up a little bit, you know. That definitely was needed for his power. How did he kill Goro, man, so quickly? That's bullshit. Anyways, yes, my final point is talking about the sequel. That's pretty much guaranteed. At the end, they teased Cage, I believe. Yeah, it was Cage. The movie hit like, what, 100 million box office, so yeah, there's definitely gonna be a sequel happening soon. I believe they projected like 10 million some shit, so they definitely beat that. People weren't happy with Cage being in the movie. No, sorry, Cage not being in the movie. The lack of Cage. I feel like keeping Cage out was a good decision. Not only does it build a hype for the next movie, because Cage is definitely one of the popular characters in MK. Obviously alongside Scorpion, Sub-Zero and stuff. Holding him off was a pretty good idea. I mentioned Kano was a good highlight because of his personality. I feel like if Kano and Cage were in the same movie, or at least were in the main cast, there would have been, you know, a big clash with their personalities. Too many jokes, you know, would have been detrimental to the movie. So yeah, good choice on that. But yeah, I guess that's my thoughts on the movie. Good watch, but very flawed. Just needed more. The thing is, like, I want more, right? I want more backstory, more explanation. But I feel like the 2-hour runtime is a good way, like, it's a good time. Too long, and you'll lose, obviously, attention. Too short, and you won't explain enough. That's why I feel like, you know, a TV series would have helped here so much. Anyways, but yeah, actually no, I want this movie to be, you know, I want this whole thing to be successful. I definitely want this movie to start off a whole MKCU, because if that starts off right, definitely other directors, other companies will look at this and be like, okay, video game movies do work. Okay, they saw how the Marvel Cinematic Universe worked. They saw that, right? But if they see a video game movie do the same, I feel like that'll turn a lot of heads, definitely. Maybe, let's say, they reboot a Street Fighter movie or Tekken movie, for example, you know, all that stuff. I want this to start a domino effect with video game movies in general. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't know what else to say. I guess to summarize up, in conclusion, I think this movie is a good watch, but flawed in very important aspects. Yeah, hope you guys enjoy, by the way. I hope you guys enjoy me talking about this shit. I did plan on like starting a whole MK talk series, maybe. You know, me talking about a few points of other stuff. Like I had plans to talk about my MKP wishlist and stuff. Maybe that could come soon. I don't know. What do you guys think? But yeah, thank you for watching, guys. I've been talking for like 25 minutes now. 25 minutes, holy fuck. Anyways, yes. Thank you for watching, guys, and goodbye.